Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Numbers, the 35th chapter. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho, saying, Command the children of Israel that they give unto the Levites of the inheritance of their possession cities to dwell in. So once the children of Israel get their inheritance, their lands that they would possess, they would have to give cities out of those lands for the Levites to dwell in, because the Levites didn't have any land for their inheritance. And ye shall give also unto the Levites suburbs for the cities round about them. So you would give them cities, and the suburbs would be like the open plains or fields, which would be for their cattle and so on. So as you see in the NKJV, right, it says specifically that portion, and you shall also give the Levites common land around the cities, that is the suburbs. And the cities shall they dwell, and the cities shall they have to dwell in, and the suburbs of them shall be for their cattle, and for their goods, and for all their beasts. And the suburbs of the cities which ye shall give unto the Levites shall reach from the wall of the city and outward 1,000 cubits round about. So within a portion, right, let's say the land of Ephraim, for example, if Shiloh was the city that was given to the Levites, you would, from the walls of that city outward, north, west, east, and south, you would count 1,000 cubits, and all that region, all that range around it would be considered the suburbs or the open lands for their cattle, right? Or for them. So as it says here, where we at, and the suburbs of the cities which ye shall give unto the Levites shall reach from the wall of the city and outward 1,000 cubits round about. All right, so the east, the north, the west, and the south from that city, any 1,000 cubits outward of it, that region would be considered the suburbs for that city. And ye shall measure from without the city on the east side 2,000 cubits, and on the south side 2,000 cubits, and on the west side 2,000 cubits, and on the north side 2,000 cubits. And the city shall be in the midst. This shall be to them the suburbs of the city. So they would have 1,000 cubits from the walls of the city, okay, and 1,000 cubits inward. Okay, let's see if this would be a bit clearer if we read it in there. Okay, here we go. Let's see, what's a good one here? All right, let's just go with the NLT, and then if it's not clear enough, we might check the NKJV. So it says, measure off 3,000 feet outside the town walls in every direction, east, south, west, north, with the town at the center. This area will serve as the larger pasture lands for the towns. NKJV, and you shall measure outside the city on the east side 2,000 cubits, on the south side 2,000 cubits, on the west side 2,000 cubits, and on the north side 2,000 cubits. The city shall be in the middle. This shall belong to them as common land for the cities. And let's go back up a verse. Yeah, okay. So it's 1,000, what is that? 1,000 cubits from the walls of the city, and 2,000 cubits from the city itself. All right, and that sounds like from maybe the center of the city, right? You would have an additional 1,000 cubits from that point to the wall, and then from the wall to the outside another 1,000, making it 2,000. But I mean, all in all, they would have the cities and they would have the suburbs. So as it says in verse 6, and among the cities which ye shall give unto the Levites, there shall be 6 cities for refuge. So of the total cities that are allotted to the Levites, 6 of them would be known as cities of refuge, which ye shall appoint for the manslayer that he may flee thither. Manslayer is somebody who kills somebody. And that person would be able to flee to one of these cities as a refuge city. And to them ye shall add 42 cities. So you're going to have 6 cities which are refuge cities, and you're going to add 42 cities, making it a total of 48 cities for the Levites, 6 of which are considered refuge cities. Now you may wonder, why would they have a refuge city for somebody that killed somebody? Shouldn't they be put to death? Well, not all cases are murder. And that's the point of these refuge cities, as the Lord is going to go on and explain further. So all the cities which ye shall give to the Levites shall be 48 cities. Them shall ye give with their suburbs. And this would be split across the various tribes, right? 48 cities all throughout. And the cities which ye shall give shall be of the possession of the children of Israel. From them that have many, ye shall give many. So the larger lands for the tribes, you would have more cities given to the Levites from there. But from them that have few, ye shall give few. Everyone shall give of his cities unto the Levites according to his inheritance which he inheriteth. So if you had a huge portion of land, like I just explained, you would give cities, more cities of your land than somebody who had a smaller portion. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye become over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then ye shall appoint you cities to be cities of refuge for you, like we just mentioned above, that the manslayer may flee thither, which killeth any person at unawares. So you accidentally kill somebody. It happens, right? You're in the forest chopping wood. You swing, the the metal part of the axe flies off, hits somebody next to you in the head, and they die, right? The person is dead. It wasn't intentional. So you can flee to one of these refuge cities, as it says, verse 12, and they shall be unto you cities for refuge from the avenger. The avenger is a relative of the deceased who is seeking revenge. He wants to put you to death for the murder or the killing of their loved one. So the refuge city would be it's like the sanctuary or safe place for the manslayer. So it says here that the manslayer die not until he stand before the congregation in judgment. So until he stands trial, that's what these refuge cities are for. So once you kill somebody, you can flee there, and when you stand, you'll be safe until your trial to determine, are you actually innocent? Was this actually an accident, or was it murder? But as we're going to read on down, if you're caught by the manslayer and you're not in that city, he going to put you to death. And that blood will not be on his hands, okay, if it's murder. So as it's going to say in verse 13, it says, And of these cities which ye shall give, 6 cities shall ye have for refuge. And ye shall give 3 cities on this side Jordan, and 3 cities shall ye give in the land of Canaan, which shall be cities of refuge. So 3 cities on the east side and 3 cities on the west side. So you better hope that you buy a city of refuge, or you better be the most careful, law-abiding citizen. These 6 cities shall be a refuge both for the children of Israel and for the stranger, the foreigner, and for the sojourner among them, that everyone that killeth any person unawares, so it's unintentional, may flee thither. And if he smite him with an instrument of iron, so that he die, he is a murderer. So you have an iron weapon and you hit somebody and they die with the intention. If you hit somebody in the head with an iron weapon, what do you think is going to happen? Right? As it says, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. And if he smite him with a throwing stone. So you might have a case where somebody does this and flees to a refuge city. Well, when they're put on trial, they'll find out that, okay, no, that was murder. You're going to be put to death. And if he smite him with throwing a stone wherewith he may die, and he dies. So you throw a stone at somebody with the intention, as it says, wherewith he may die, and it hits the person and they actually die, he is a murderer. The manslayer here is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. Or if he smite him with an hand weapon of wood, a handheld weapon of wood, whereby he may die, and he die. So once again, you have the intention of you hitting him hard enough to kill him, and they die. He is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. And the revenger of blood is the once again the avenger, right? The relative of the one who was murdered. And they would do the killing blow, right? They would avenge their deceased. As it says, when he meeteth him, he shall slay him. But if he thrust him of hatred, that's like to push him, or hurl at him by lying in wait. Hurl is to throw something at him. By lying in wait, that he dies. So you were seeking the proper opportunity, you planned it, and then you threw something at him, and then it hit him, and the person died. Or in enmity, smite him with his hand. That enmity is like hatred or contention, and you get into a back and forth, and then you hit him with your hands, so you kill him with your bare hands, basically, right? That he die. He that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer when he meeteth him. But if he thrust him suddenly without enmity, or have cast upon him anything without lying of weight. So when if he pushed him, right, accidentally, or actually let me go into that word. Let's go into that word, thrust. Okay, there you go. So to push, to cast away, to expel, right? So you push that dude somewhere. It says suddenly without enmity, right? So it's an accident, or have cast upon him anything without lying of weight, or a stone, or with any stone. So you threw something, but it wasn't intentional to like harm somebody. Whether it was a stone, right, wherewith a man may die, seeing him not, and cast it upon him. So you threw it, but you didn't see the person, and it hits them, and they end up dying, right? That he died. And he was not his enemy, neither sought his harm. So this wasn't like you guys had beef, or you guys were on bad terms, and this person was seeking, your hurt. This was just an accident. Then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood according to these judgments. So the congregation or the assembly would judge the matter and find out, is it murder or was it an accident? Because if you look at it, right, more than likely the avenger is in the same city as the one who was deceased, as though and likewise the one who accidentally killed him, right? In a general case here. So the congregation or the assembly would look at the matter, and then they would decide between the two. And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood. So they'll say, nah, you can't actually put him to death. And the congregation shall restore him to the city of his refuge. So, because if this happened in a place there where the city of refuge is not there or near, then when the congregation decides, okay, this person is innocent, they're going to escort him to the city of refuge where he will be safe, whither he was fled. And he shall abide in it unto the death of the high priest, which was anointed by the holy oil. So once you're in that city of refuge, you got to stay there until that high priest dies. But if the slayer shall at any time, which is the one who killed the other person, come without the border of the city of his refuge, whither he was fled. So if you, for whatever reason, leave that the confines or the border of that city of refuge, and the avenger of blood find him without the borders of the city of his refuge, and the avenger of blood kill the slayer, he shall not be guilty of blood. So they take you to the city of refuge, you stay there for 5 years, the high priest is still alive, you leave, you come back, the avenger, right, the one whose relative you killed, finds you and is like, oh yeah, it's over for you, and he kills you, he's not going to be guilty of murder. As it says, verse 28, because he should have remained in the city of his refuge until the death of the high priest, because that's what the law said. That was the way you would handle this matter. So you took your life into your own hands and you risked it and you failed. But after the death of the high priest, the slayer shall return into the land of his possession. So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations and all your dwellings. Whoso killeth a person, the murderer shall be put to death. The killeth here would be murder. If you murder someone, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses, but one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. So you need witnesses, but you can't take the word of just one witness and it has somebody be put to death off of that. You can't do that. You need at least two witnesses. Moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer. That satisfaction is like a payoff or an alternative. It says, which is guilty of death, but he shall be surely put to death. So it doesn't matter if they're super rich and they're like, look, I'll just pay you this amount of shekels. No. The price is you got to be put to death. There's no satisfaction. There's no alternative. There's no reward or payoff or bribe that it should be accepted to allow this person to live when they're guilty of death. And ye shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land until the death of the priest. Once again, there's no bribe or anything that should allow you to say, okay, the high priest ain't dead yet, but you're allowed to come back to your city. No. If you do that, you ain't going to be safe. You're taking your matters into your own hand. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So if an innocent person is slain or murdered, the land is polluted, and the blood of the murderer has to be shed to cleanse that land. Verse 34, defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, for I the Lord dwell among the children of Israel. And that brings us to the end of the book of Numbers, the 35th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.